What is going on, everybody? Liam here, Everything NYJ, back with another video for you. Here is my official Jets versus Giants Snoopy Bowl preview video. The final preseason game is here. It felt like this preseason was going to go on forever. It has been such a long off season, and now September 11th is right around the corner. It cannot get here fast enough. We are coming off of the heels of the potentially greatest offseason in New York Jets franchise history. Obviously, the big news going into this final preseason game is Aaron Rodgers will be making his debut at MetLife Stadium against the New York Giants. Let me tell you, this is very nerve wracking for me. I am not really a huge fan of this. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to be benefiting from playing a preseason game, whether it's just a series or two, or whether it's just a quarter. I don't see it being more than a quarter. But on the other hand, I don't think Aaron Rodgers would put himself in a situation where he thought that it would jeopardize this upcoming season. Because potentially next to his 2010 Super Bowl season, this could be not only the biggest season in Jets history, but the biggest season of Aaron Rodgers' entire career. First time in a new environment, in a new city, a lot on the line. The New York Jets are talking about Super Bowl publicly. They think that they are that good of a team that they could make a push at the Super Bowl. I agree with it. However, like I said, it's just the PTSD Jets fan in me scares the hell out of me. I saw Chad Pennington go down in preseason. I saw Mark Sanchez go down against the Giants in preseason. And then Robert Saleh saying that he needs to get used to MetLife Stadium. He doesn't want him going out onto the turf at MetLife for the first time against the Bills. Listen, us Jet fans, anytime that the practice was open to the public, we were chanting, Aaron Rodgers. We were welcoming him with open arms. Not only that, Aaron Rodgers has played in the most historical stadium in all of the NFL, Lambeau Field, for the last 18 years. I don't think Aaron Rodgers needs to get used to the stadium. But listen, I see both sides here. Aaron Rodgers, you do want to get chemistry with your starting players. I understand that. But here's the other thing. This is probably why I'm concerned the most is this whole offensive line situation. The offensive line is still, it's not great. Mekhi Becton has been a bright spot. He has gotten better each and every week, especially since that Hall of Fame game. Right after that Hall of Fame game, myself included, we were all down on Mekhi Becton, saying, you know what, maybe he's just not built for this. He flipped the switch, and he has been flawless ever since then. Let me tell you, Mekhi Becton is, if he could stay healthy, he has a Pro Bowl season ahead of him. Mark my words. But this offensive line is still a major concern. Dwayne Brown is not going to be playing. So what are we going to have, Billy Turner as our left tackle? That scares me. There's just a lot of uncertainty with this. Like I said, I see both sides. I don't think that they would be jeopardizing Aaron Rodgers' health by having him play this. If they thought it was going to be that big of a concern, listen, I understand it. But like I said, the negative PTSD driven Jet fan in me is scared. And I think that's all right. But getting into a couple other positions to really keep an eye on, obviously the wide receiver position, this is huge. With Corey Davis retiring, this does leave the potential room for both Jason Brownlee and Xavier Gibson, to make this team. But this could also be a showcase for them where maybe they will keep one, and then I almost said Aaron Rodgers, Joe Douglas will have to go and potentially either trade for a wide receiver. I put a video out yesterday on potential wide receiver options for the New York Jets. Go check that video out if you haven't done so already. It's up on the YouTube channel and actually on the Twitter account as well. But this is going to be a big game for the wide receivers. Garrett Wilson will be playing. Allen Lazard will be playing. Mecole Hardman. Randall Cobb might see some action. And then, yeah, I think that we're going to be seeing a lot of Jason Brownlee and Xavier Gibson. Obviously, the big thing, not just for Aaron Rodgers, but for the entire team, really for both teams. You don't want to see anybody getting injured. Just getting out of that game healthy is the number one concern. Can we get out of this game healthy? Just make it to week 1 fully healthy. That's all I ask. That's really all I ask. I don't expect to see a lot from Aaron Rodgers. I don't really expect Nathaniel Hackett to sit there and open up the playbook. But you do want to see him get some connections and some continuity with his wide receivers. And Jason Brownlee and Xavier Gibson, while yes, there is a realistic chance that they both make the team, there's also a very realistic chance that only one of them makes the team. And right now, I think it would probably be Xavier Gibson because he does play special teams. But like I said yesterday in my other video, you don't want to see Jason Brownlee turn out to be a guy not on the New York Jets, especially when we already have him in the building. So I think that the wide receiver position is very interesting, to be completely honest. But another really interesting position is the running back group. And this final preseason game could be a Bam Knight showcase game. Izzy's out, Dalvin Cook's out, Breece Hall's out. So it's going to be the Bam Knight Michael Carter show. And I don't see Bam Knight making the team. I really don't. I put out my official 53-man roster prediction, and I had Bam Knight as the odd man out. He's been fumbling balls. Michael Carter and Izzy both just look like better running backs. So whether Bam Knight is going to be putting out film for another team, or maybe he goes onto the Jets practice squad, I really think that they're going to be showcasing Bam Knight to maybe get something for him. Maybe we get a trade for him. Or maybe he does just end up on the practice squad. But I do think that we're going to be seeing a lot of Bam Knight. I think that we will also be seeing a lot of Michael Carter, but we might actually be seeing more of Bam Knight just to really showcase what he can do. God forbid he doesn't fumble any balls or have a penalty or whatever the situation is. But another concern of mine, like I said a couple minutes ago, is the offensive line. I really want to touch on that a little bit. AVT will not be playing. Lakin is out. So this could be a makeshift offensive line. I don't want to put Aaron Rodgers behind this offensive line, but I think that this is going to be a very big game for Mekhi Becton. Maybe he plays the first half and then you pull him. But like Robert Saleh has been saying, you really do want to see Mekhi Becton pushing himself. And I think he will. I think he'll be just fine as well. Getting into the tight ends a little bit. This could be a big game for Zach Kuntz, however you want to pronounce it. He is possibly fighting for a roster spot. Kenny Yeboah has looked good in training camp. When I did my 53-man roster prediction, I did have Zach Kuntz making the team over Kenny Yeboah. Kenny Yeboah has been on the team a couple years, and he just hasn't been able to really win that spot. And I don't see it happening this year, especially with Tyler Conklin, C.J. Azuma, and of course Jeremy Ruckert. I'm really excited to see some of these guys playing too. But I do expect to watch from Zach Kuntz. Even Aaron Rodgers said that he is very raw. He has a lot to learn, but he thinks that the clay is there that he can be molded, which is of course a good thing. So we might want to see him getting some more opportunities, especially later on, maybe third, fourth quarter, when a lot of the starters are pulled. This way he could just go in there and really learn. But getting into the defense a little bit, I'm excited to see this defense. Quinnen Williams, Will McDonald, Jermaine Johnson, Quentin Jefferson, Al Woods, JFM, Michael Clemens. This defensive line is stacked. Let me tell you, this defensive line really gets me pumped up, really the bright spot of this team. And I think that this defensive line, they're going to be able to play against some starters. So we're going to see just how dominant this defensive line is. We saw our backups completely destroy some of the starting offensive line of the Carolina Panthers. And yes, you can argue that the Carolina Panthers are not a very good football team. But you could also argue that we didn't see a lot of our starters out there. And Will McDonald ate. He's a stud. I can't wait to see more of Will McDonald. I'm really impressed by our edge rushers. I cannot wait to see our edge rushers. But I also want to see Quinnen Williams just getting a couple sacks here and there. Like I said, I want to see JFM back there. But then getting into the secondary a little bit, I'm not sure how much Sauce and DJ will be playing along with Michael Carter. The linebackers, that's really interesting, especially Sherwood, because he doesn't really have a lot of experience, especially in games as a linebacker. So that's going to be really interesting to see him getting some reps. And then our safeties, Tony Adams. He's another one. He has not really been playing a lot of preseason. He actually hasn't even been dressing the last couple of games. And it's funny because last year he did see a little bit of the field, but not a lot. And it's a little interesting that for a player in his second year, to not be playing a lot of preseason. That is a little interesting to me. So I really want to see, obviously they value this kid enough that they felt like he was too valuable to play throughout the preseason. So I want to see him go out there, ball out. I want to see Adrian Amos, Jordan Whitehead. This defense is going to be a lot of fun. But like I said, the biggest story is obviously Aaron Rodgers and this offensive line. How do they hold up against a starting defensive line, by the New York Giants? And the New York Giants, they have some pass rushers. Leonard Williams, Dexter Lawrence, Kayvon Thibodeau. It's going to be really interesting to see how this line holds up. But getting into a score prediction, like I said this multiple times in a lot of my videos, that there is not a single team in the NFL that I don't think that the Jets have a chance of beating. Now, listen, I'm not going to say that they're going to go 17-0. But I'm going to predict a Jets win each and every week, and I'm going to do it for this upcoming game too against the New York Giants. I say the New York Jets win 21-17. I think we get one touchdown with Aaron Rodgers, maybe two, depending on how long he's in. I would personally like to see Aaron Rodgers get the ball to start. They march right down the field. They score a touchdown. That's their opening drive. You pull him, and then you have Zach Wilson and you have Tim Boyle. I want to see Zach Wilson get a lot of reps. I want to see him continue to improve because that run last week kind of bothered me that he didn't go outside. Now, listen, I get it. I get it. You're a competitor. You always want to fight to get the extra yards, but that showed me that you're not thinking. You got to be smarter. You got to be better than that. Go out of bounds. If, knock on wood, Aaron Rodgers does go down, then we're counting on Zach Wilson to be healthy and look like a competent backup quarterback. So I want to see Zach Wilson continue to get better. I want to see him stand in the pocket more, really get comfortable in that pocket, which he's showing the last couple of weeks that he can do, and make some really impressive throws. That's what I'm looking forward to seeing. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think the score will be and who you guys are most likely. What are you guys most excited to see? Like I said, let me know down in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching as always. We'll talk Jets soon.